The Temple of Artemis was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Sadly, all that remains are a large column and some ruins, the majority of the stones and columns having been removed to build local structures, including the Izmir mosque nearby. The temple is situated just off the main road out of Selcuk to Ephesus. You can walk there from Selcuk town centre. Artemis of Ephesus was the goddess of fertility. Statues which have been excavated show her as a goddess with multiple breasts. She was so important that visitors to the city would head straight to her temple to pay homage. The temple was a religious centre for people of all faiths. Known also as the Temple of Diana, it was destroyed several times. When we talk about the Temple of Artemis, we are talking about a number of temples having been built, destroyed, flooded and rebuilt on the same site. The original construction would have been around 800 BC. Built on marshy ground to help protect it from the earthquakes, the first construction lasted 200 years before being destroyed in 600 BC by the Sumerians, an ancient tribe linked to the Celts and Thracians, who are known to have lived around the Black Sea regions of Turkey and in Anatolia. History did not favour Artemis, despite its grandeur. In 356 BC, it was burned down and destroyed by Herodotus and rebuilt again by the Ephesians, who turned down an offer by Alexander the Great to finance it, saying that it would be inappropriate for one god to build a temple to another god. The Great Temple, also called the Artemisium, was built by Croesus, the king of Lydia, in about 550 BC. The Temple of Artemis would have covered an area of around 6,000 square metres, some 25 metres in height, 105 metres in length and 55 metres wide. It would have been an absolutely breathtaking sight to have seen. It was the first such sanctuary to have been made from marble. It would have seen 127 stone columns support the huge temple structure. Many of these were decorated with reliefs, and the intricate facades would feature 4 bronze statues of the Amazons. This last temple is mentioned by the 2nd century BC Greek poet Antipater of Sidon's list of world's 7 wonders, with the following observation having been recorded. I have set eyes on the wall of lofty Babylon, on which is a road for the chariots, and the statue of Zeus by the Alpheus, and the hanging gardens, and the Colossus of the Sun, and the huge labour of the high pyramids, and the vast tomb of Mausolus. But when I saw the house of Artemis, that mounted to the clouds, those other marvels lost their brilliancy, and I said, Lo, apart from Olympus, the sun never looked on aught so grand. Unfortunately, after a period of stability, the temple was sacked and destroyed once again, this time by the Goths in 263 AD. It was never rebuilt after this. For centuries it lay in marshland, forlorn and abandoned, pillaged for its stones and marble columns, until being rediscovered in 1869 by an expedition led by John Turtle Wood, which was sponsored by the British Museum. A railway engineer by trade, he took the remains back to the United Kingdom, and the British Museum is now home to many of the columns and ruins that would once have stood at Selcuk. They can be seen in Hall 82 at the British Museum in London. Many artefacts, statues, coins, tools and pottery have been found at the ancient site. Some of these can be seen at the local Selcuk Museum. Indeed, the Temple of Artemis has been visited by kings, famous travellers and merchants, and also by people escaping persecution from other lands. Today, when tourists visit the site, they're often unimpressed by what they see. There is no entrance fee and very little to see except the large column with a stork's nest perched on the top of it and some ruins. Just how the various temples might have looked, we can only speculate.